News Conference, the coming news conference. I am James Lee Robinson, but I am better known as Yusuf Khalim, writer, poet, activist, historian, and the reincarnation of Jacob, aka Israel, Caliph Umar, the second Caliph, following Caliph Abu Bakr and Prophet Muhammad, who is the reincarnation of Moses. My autobiography is widely distributed and is called The Second Coming. I also incarnated as Thomas Jefferson and became the third president of the United States. You probably know some of the history of Mr. Jefferson. If you're not familiar with what I just said and you want to actually know more about what's going on in the world today, read our newsletter, Sun Ra Daily News, read Yusuf Khalim's books, and read Edgar Cayce's two books, Christ Consciousness and Jesus the Patron. Read the books of Daniel, especially chapters 2 through 12, and the book of Revelation, especially chapter 2 verse 9, chapter 3 verse 9, and chapters 12, 13, and 17 verse 5. Pay close attention to Revelation 12, 9 through 12. The politicians, talking heads, anchors, elites, and so-called leaders seem to be very ignorant of most, if not all, of the previous Western empires and their history, including Egypt, Assyria, Babylonia, Persia, Greece, and Rome. The United States was the seventh world empire, and it is what's left of the eighth and last world empire prior to God's kingdom on earth. Daniel 2, 32 through 45. The USA has a recent insurrectionist, Looney Tunes, mad, corrupt, satanic, and antichrist judicial history, which created lawless, irrational, illegal, senseless, intolerable, and tyrannical gobbledygook rulings since 1998, including the immunity, Dobbs, Chevron, and Citizens United decisions. It ruled in favor of insurrection and insurrectionists. It invalidated the 14th Amendment, and it took the racist and ignorant decision to remove parts of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. Next, we have a picture of yours truly, Yusuf Khalim, also known as James Robinson. You wonder whether the six stooges of that infamous former court have lost their minds. That corrupt, terminally sick entity must be abolished. The U.S. Congress is controlled by insurrectionists, election deniers, kooks, appeasers, and supporters of the insane, ignorant, satanic, antichrist, lying, fast-talking, projectionist, and fascist communist demon Vladimir Putin. Putin also controls the U.S. Congress through his bitch and Russian asset, crazy Donald Trump. The executive branch is controlled by Zionists, AIPAC, the Israel Lobby, and Antichrist, satanic, murderous, savage, bloodthirsty, genocidal, homicidal, Islamophobic, colonial, settler, crusader types. There is no sane, responsible, currently functioning federal government in the United States. That's because Almighty God said it would be destroyed. He said it would be destroyed. Look at the evidence. The second coming era and age came on about August 7th, 1998, with allowed attacks on U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania. Also note, the previous constitution was shredded and destroyed by the actions and inactions of the previous court. So let's talk about our necessary and new U.S. Constitution. People of the USA and the world, this is what Almighty God, Christ, and the sons and daughters of God have in store for you. The elimination of federal and other student debt per the Jubilee statutes, Leviticus 25:8 through 13, and Isaiah 61:1 through 3. 2. The elimination of some credit card, personal and business debt. 3. We provide food, clothing, and shelter commensurate with needs. 4. We create conditions in the country and on earth suitable for humans and the children of Almighty God. 5. We examine the proposals and programs suggested by others and implement useful ones accordingly. Next, we go to a unicameral legislative structure and replace the disgraced former High Court with a superior court. We are abolishing the corrupt, satanic, antichrist, demonic, so-called Supreme Court, dissolving the U.S. Congress for now, ratifying our brand new U.S. Constitution, which prevents Trump from getting a government job. We eliminate the Electoral College, and U.S. Senate. We are arresting all insurrectionists, including Trump, John Roberts, Samuel Alito, Clarence Thomas and his wife, Tucker Carlson, Matt Gaetz, MTG, Jim Jordan, the so-called Freedom Caucus, Jesse Waters, Greg Gutfeld, Rupert Murdoch, and other ringleaders, supporters, and followers of the demons, and putting them on trial for treason. We kick Fox Corporation, OAN, AIPAC, and the Israel lobby out of the country forthwith. Arrest sleepwalking demon Joe Biden for genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. Arrest Netanyahu, that fake Jew, imposter, identity thief, and fast-talking, lying, satanic monster. Then put him on trial and hang that genocidal, apartheid, degenerate son of a dog and subhuman, bloodthirsty, savage, antichrist demon if he ever comes to this country again. The whole world suffered because of the unfair, unjust, and diabolical provisions of the previous U.S. Constitution, and especially since 1998, these satanic, demonic, antichrist, Looney Tunes, uncivilized, irrational, illiterate, illogical, senseless rulings of the infamous and corrupt so-called Supreme Court, including the Dobbs immunity, Chevron, Citizens United rulings, its invalidation of the 14th Amendment, and racist gutting of parts of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. They're supporting, aiding, and abetting insurrection and insurrectionists and their interference in the 2024 federal elections. That court is indeed a RICO criminal enterprise. In the new Constitution, built partly upon the ruins of the previous Constitution, Article 1 is eliminated. It's eliminated. It's about the Congress, and we go to a unicameral legislature, somewhat like that in Nebraska. The unfair, unjust U.S. Senate is eliminated, and concurrently, non-corrupt or non-contaminated individuals can be merged into the unicameral structure. Article 2 is changed to align with the new unicameral structure. It is about the executive branch. Article 3 remains partially intact. The corrupt, infamous, satanic, antichrist, dumb, stupid, so-called Supreme Court is abolished. It may later be replaced by a superior court. Article 4 remains intact. It's about maintaining the credit standing of the country. Article 5 is eliminated. It's about amendments to the now defunct Constitution. Article 6 remains intact, possibly. It refers to days gone by before the previous Constitution. Article 6 will be adjusted for current conditions. It refers to the ratification process of pre-Constitution times, or in about 1787. Amendment 1's freedom of speech shall not allow lying liars to lie and lie and lie and disseminate erroneous misinformation, falsehoods, and half-truths. The heaviest punishment awaits lying liars like ignorant, crazy Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, an imposter, identity thief, leech parasite, and genocidal, Islamophobic, apartheid, bloodthirsty Benjamin Netanyahu, and the uncivilized, satanic, antichrist, demon, and fascist communist, and soulless Vladimir Putin, and all of the supporters and followers of these demons, and prohibits them from lying and lying and lying. Note that carjackers, drive-by shooters, and other demons are devils and likely bound for hell. Everyone must henceforth take in consideration what Revelation 12:9 through 12 says and act in a civilized, human manner. The Second Amendment means what it says, henceforth, and it only refers to the National Guard. The 14th Amendment is hereby reestablished. The District of Columbia and Puerto Rico shall become the 51st and 52nd states of the United States. Other amendments will undoubtedly be modified, eliminated, or added because this is our brand new Constitution and it reflects what is and what shall be in our wonderful, glorious future in Almighty God's kingdom on earth. Note, the second coming of Christ, era and age, began on about August 7th, 1998, and it is a time of judgment, reckoning, harvesting of souls, new revelation, and great changes upon the earth. It is a time when the Eighth World Empire, consisting of the USA, UK, European Union, NATO, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, will be replaced by God's kingdom on earth. Daniel 2:32 through 45. Note that your so-called elites, pundits, politicians, so-called historians, Main Street media, and talking heads are illiterate, ignorant, arrogant, dumb, stupid, uneducated, miseducated, misinformed, and stupid. They fit the profile depicted by King Nebuchadnezzar and interpreted and explained by Daniel. Daniel chapters 2 through 12. Note, the Electoral College is eliminated. It's mentioned in Amendment 12. Also, Thomas Jefferson is the reincarnation of Jacob, aka Israel, and Caliph Umar, Prophet Muhammad is the reincarnation of Moses. Barack Obama is the reincarnation of Abraham Lincoln. The USA is a mirror of ancient Israel, with George Washington juxtaposed against Abraham, Thomas Jefferson juxtaposed against Jacob, and of course Jefferson is the reincarnation of Jacob, aka Israel. The USA is the only real Israel. The entity in the Middle East is a lie, scam, fraud, con job, and wet dream of the devil. The 11th Amendment restricts the ability of individuals to bring suit against states of which they are not citizens. They are not citizens in federal court. Now, other amendments. 12, procedure for electing president and vice president. 13 through 15 we keep intact. 16 allows the income tax. 17 established direct election of senators. 18 established prohibition. 19 established women's suffrage. 20 moved the beginning and ending of terms of president and vice president. 21 repealed prohibition. 22 limits presidents to 2 terms in office. 23 extends the right to participate in presidential elections to D.C. residents. 24 prohibits poll tax requirements in federal elections. 25 relates to presidential disability and succession. 26 established the voting age at 18 years of age. 27 established a rule for increasing or decreasing Congress's salary. Also, Trump, the devil, Satan, cannot stand the truth. He is a lying machine. He is also very, very ignorant, dumb, stupid, and very, very insane. Trump must undergo a psychological and psychiatric examination, and he must immediately show the USA and the world all of his psychological exam results and school records and grades, because he has been an ignorant, dumb, crazy mother since his childhood. Trump does not know how terrorists or the world work, because he is too stupid to learn anything except what feeds his demented ego. Now Almighty God and his Christ and angels and legions and armies will destroy Trump and his lying, stupid, satanic Antichrist supporters and followers. A word to the wise. It has been said that whatever Trump touches dies. So let us all see what happens to the supporters, followers, hangers-on, devils, and demons described in Revelation 12, 9 through 12, and attached to Trump. On July 14th, 2024, I heard this song by Glenn Jones on a radio station in Milwaukee on my drive back to the Chicagoland area, called "We've Only Just Begun, the Romance Is Not Over." I've probably heard this song before, but did not pay a lot of attention to it. The area of the song near the end goes a little bit overboard, but the song and lyrics remind me of Almighty God's relations and relationship to his creation, humans, and past and future events. He has had a loving, fatherly relationship with humans since our creation in his image, giving us a body, mind, immortal soul, spirit, unique personality, and limited free will. He has given us the breath of life, and countless lifetimes, life after life. He has been gracious, patient, forgiving, merciful, kindly, loving, and fatherly. When we celebrate Father's Day hereafter, Almighty God should be at the top of our list of fathers. He gave us sustenance and the wherewithal to get food, clothing, shelter, safety, peace, and prosperity. He gave us love abundantly, and friendship and companionship. He loves us and has shown it. Did we return his love, affection, and caring and sharing? I think not. What a romance we have had with our Creator, our benefactor, our one and only God, the Father of creation. And we must love him back with all of our heart, mind, soul, and spirit. Our romance with Almighty God is not over. The bright and beautiful future lies ahead in his wonderful kingdom on earth. We have a lot more love to give, and I am Jacob, aka Israel, and we've only just begun. Matthew 16:14, 17, 11 through 13, 22, 31 through 32, 19:4, 23:33, John 8:44, Daniel 2:32 through 45, 9:24 through 27, Surah Ayat 39:42, 2:28, 3:7, Revelations 2:9, 3:9, 12, 9 through 12. Now, this slide is a depiction of the 42 first presidents of the United States, starting with Washington and going all the way up to Clinton. George Washington is juxtaposed against Abraham. Thomas Jefferson is juxtaposed against Jacob, aka Israel, and of course he is the reincarnation of Jacob, and so forth and so on. We won't go into any other details of this graphic at this time, but I have discussed it previously, and we shall discuss it further in another context. Now we're at Revelation 12:9 through 12, and the title of this slide is "The Devil is on Earth in People, especially in the eighth and last world empire." Verse 9, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceives the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death." Verse 12, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he hath but a short time." Revelation 12, 9 through 12. And that's the end.